So before we even begin today's episode, I need to know what you know so that I know how much I need to explain what we are about to discuss today. So do you know, raise your hand if you know the difference between a bank and a credit union. I'll give you a second. Do you know the difference between a bank? You there in the back. What's the difference? Oh, you were just stretching. Sorry. Anyone else? The difference between a bank and a credit union. Who here can tell me? Do I see any hands? Were you in the blue shirt? Yeah, did you have something to say? Oh, probably just about 30 more minutes. Okay. Anyone else? Does anyone know? Okay. It looks like nobody knows the difference here between a bank and a credit union. There's a lot of similarities. They're both financial institutions where you can store money and get loans and yada, yada, yada. The major difference, though, is that a bank is owned more or less by its shareholder. Bank has shareholders. Like, these are the people who have invested in the bank and have a financial stake in how well the bank does. And the bank's goal is to make more and more money for its shareholders. Now, a credit union functions in much the same way on the outside as a bank, but a credit union is actually a non-profit organization that's owned by its members. So if you have money in a credit union, you have a say in how the credit union is run and how the credit union spends the money that it makes. And its primary goal is not to increase the money of its shareholders. It is to do its best for its owners, which is the people who have investments in the credit union, who have their money in the credit union. Typically, you'll see higher interest rates on savings at a credit union and lower interest rates on loans, things like that. Not always. Like, banks have a lot of connections and a lot of investment in like each other, I guess. Like, since banks are financial institutions, they can actually cut you some pretty good deals. But that usually comes with a cost, and that cost is your soul. Whereas a credit union, kind of across the board, it's a friendlier situation than a bank. Unfortunately, a lot of credit unions, you can't, if you belong to a credit union, traditionally in the past, you were limited to that branch. One of my teachers in high school belonged to the Teachers Credit Union in Houston, and actually to drive 45 minutes to an hour into the city just to deposit money and withdraw money from their account. Like, you had this one. Nowadays, credit unions tend to sort of partner up with each other, and they have like networks, credit union networks. So you can use their ATMs all over. You can go into other credit unions and deposit and take. In other words, credit unions are a lot more convenient than they used to be. You don't have to, have been a member of, the military in order to join a credit union. They're pretty open to everyone now, but you're joining essentially a co-op, a money co-op. And much like a food co-op, you probably won't actually participate in any of the decision making, but you can rest assured that you could if you ever had the time or the inkling. The reason I wanted to make sure that we knew where we stood going in is because we're going to be talking a lot about credit unions today, because today's book is 2015's The Berenstain Bears Visit the Credit Union. Welcome back to Deep in Bear Country, a Berenstain Bearcast. I am your host, Phil Gonzalez, and I was going to have someone from the credit union on the show this week to talk about credit unions, and I was like, no, I'm not jumping through those hoops for this. The Berenstain Bears Visit the Credit Union. I said up top it was 2015. I'm looking at my notes. It says it's 2014. I would open up my book and check the publication date, but I don't own the book because I don't belong to a credit union where you can get this book, because this book is not available in stores. It is one of the rare Berenstain Bears books that you were never able to buy. You had to join a credit union that was participating in is participating, because it's still going on, in fact, it's stronger than ever, in a certain program to obtain a book written solely for distributions by credit unions. And this is not a cheap little book. We're not talking a booklet. We're not talking a pamphlet. We're not talking a coloring book. We're not talking a smaller format book. We're not talking a book written and drawn by freelancers. This is a Mike Berenstain original Berenstain Bears canonical adventure. The Berenstain Bears Visit the Credit Union, and you can only get it by joining the credit union's Cub Club and opening like a account at one of the participating credit unions. I'll check and see where the closest one to me is. It's in Montevideo, Minnesota. I'm not going to Montevideo, Minnesota, and opening a credit union account just to get a book. And you can buy these online, and they are redonkulously expensive because people had to open like a $50 account to get them, and now they're selling them. So the Berenstain Bears visit the credit union. How on earth did I ever read this book then? I'll tell you, the official credit union website, like the organization that runs this, Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union Foundation, the Credit Union Network for Financial, the CUNFL FMC, the CUNFL of the FMFCU Foundation, the Credit Union Network for Financial Literacy from the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union Foundation. Okay, so the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union is a thing. Trust me. The Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union, the credit union of choice, this is not sponsored content, has an organization, like a branch. They own a thing called the Credit Union Network for Financial Literacy. And the Credit Union Network for Financial Literacy is a credit union service. So the CUNFL is a credit union service organization, or a CUSO, of Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union. The CUNFL, this is from their website, focuses on helping credit unions provide financial education solutions while promoting the value of credit union membership. Okay, so in 2012, the Berenstain Bears and the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union, I believe this is how it goes. 2012, they joined forces to form the Berenstain Bears Financial Literacy Program. And this was headed up, I believe this was started while Jan was still alive. It's really been Mike who's taken this and run with it. His philosophy being that the Berenstain Bears have always been about educating children about the ins and outs of life. And they, starting with the Berenstain Bears and the Trouble with Money, they really started diving into that. So I believe originally what happened was they took the Berenstain Bears and the Trouble with Money, in which the Cubs start learning how to save money. Mike made a few alterations to the text so that instead of going to the bank, they went to a credit union, and made these versions of the Berenstain Bears and the Trouble with Money available at participating credit unions. That was the beginning of the Berenstain Bears Financial Literacy Program. But then Mike was like, you know what? We can do better. We can actually educate about credit unions and what they are and make it an exclusive book. So that's what this is. So in 2015, the Berenstain Bears Financial Literacy Program and the Berenstain Bears Visit the Credit Union were launched. I don't know why it says 2014 on my list here, but it definitely says 2015 on their website. Maybe 2014 is when the book was originally published, but it wasn't made available until the 2015 program launched. And then it went to credit unions around the country. And they keep so each year they keep adding on to what's available through this. And in 2022, where is it? 2022, I think they started the Cub Club. I was just looking at it. The Berenstain Bears, Franklin Mint. Yes. I have so many press releases open. Yes. So the Berenstain Bears Financial Literacy Program Cub account is something that you open. You get a free piggy bank. I'm just advertising for this now. You get a copy of The Trouble with Money. You get a one-time match of $10 when the piggy bank gets deposited. You get a one-time match of $10 for a birthday month deposit. You get a membership card. It's called the Cub Club or a Cub account, and it's all over their website. It's all over the Franklin Mint website. It's all over the Credit Union Network for Financial Literacy website. This is a big deal, and it's cute, and there's things like displays set up at some of the credit unions that demonstrate how things work, coin sorting machines, a lot of signage. There's a cute picture of Mike cutting a ribbon that's made up of dollar bills, y'all, with brother and sister bear. It's very cute. It's very neat. It's to teach in any case. As you can see, there's a lot going on here. I did not, however, spend $100 on a copy of this book. But if you go to the official YouTube page for the Franklin Mint Financial Credit Union. I don't know. If you go to the official YouTube page, which I'm sure you do, it has, the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union Foundation. is an actual YouTube page. It has 23 subscribers. To give you a sense of perspective on this, my YouTube page, which is one of the least frequented YouTube pages in history, has 40 subscribers. I have more YouTube subscribers than the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union Foundation. I also have more I have 111 videos on there. They have 37. I'm not saying that this means anything. I am going to say, though, that it means that I'm doing a little bit better than the Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union. Their videos include their community champions, their excellence in teaching awards. There's more views on this than there are members of their, in any case. They have a thing on here about the Berenstain Bears financial literacy program. It's like an 8-minute video. It's pretty cool. It's got interviews with Mike. They've got him unveiling the credit union book 8 years ago at an elementary school. But they also have, I'm getting to it, they also have a very nice link to an official reading of the Berenstain Bears Visit the Credit Union. You can actually officially have it read to you online. Actually, you can find it in many places online because it looks like a lot of the credit union partners have had an employee of theirs read this book. It's pretty cool and a necessary, I don't know what to say, like a necessary resource because I don't have this book. I don't own this book. So in any case, the Berenstain, so they do visit the credit union. It's a nice book. It's very colorful. It has the Franklin Mint logo on it, and where there would be like a first-time books like logo, it said is the Credit Union Financial Literacy Series, which I hope means, I don't know, maybe there's more of these. Maybe Raffish Ralph will appear in one. So what is this book about? So you take your kid to the credit union. You're like, we're going to join the Cub Club. They join the Cub Club. I don't know how. Okay, so I'm looking at the Cub Club, like the ins and outs, and it looks like you get the trouble with money. I don't see how you get this book. I see branch locations. I don't belong to this thing, so I don't know how you do this. But in any case, you get this book somehow. Okay. Are we good on that? You've gotten your book? You picked it up? Okay. If you go to Cub Club online, it'll explain everything to you. You join the Cub Club. You get this book. You bring it home to read. Is it interesting? Is there a story? Here's the story. Cubs are pretty cool with money. It kind of acknowledges the fact that they've been through the experience of the trouble with money. Kind of, a little bit. They're a little ignorant about a few things that they should be aware of by now. But they love their money. The Cubs love money. You can buy school supplies. It says the first thing I list that they buy with it is school supplies. I'm like, maybe hit your parents up for some extra cash. Clothes. I guess they have to buy their winter jackets with it because they're wearing new winter coats. And it's like, oh, thank God. We finally saved up enough money that we're not freezing. Toys and snacks. They're eating some soft serve. It's nice. It's delicious. They get an allowance. They get money by doing chores for community members. Brother mows lawn. Sister sweeps garages out. So one day they're counting up stacks of coins and dollar bills, Scrooge McDuck style. And they're like, I don't want to spend all my money at once. We should save our money. What's the best way to save money? Well, one day, a member of the credit union visits Bear Country School. I'm going to call Mike's illustration here into question because brother and sister are seen to be in the same class. I don't know how this works. The class is assembled for a special presentation, I guess. Mama Bear and Papa Bear are there as chaperones because they're taking a trip to the credit union. Teacher Bob, because there's both of their teachers. Teacher Bob and Teacher Jane are both there. I love, by the way, Teacher Bob's snazzy outfit. And they're like, we're going to go visit Bear Country Credit Union. Mr. Brown, who's the manager, is going to show us around. Brothers all, what's a credit union? They're like, it's basically what I said up top. It's like a bank, but it belongs to the people who save their money there. Yeah, you own the credit union. How's that make you feel, brother? You can be drunk with power if you invest enough money. So they all get on the bus. They head down to the Bear Country Credit Union, which has a logo that is clearly designed. And I love this. It's like, I don't know how much Mike Berenstain had to do with the design of this logo, but it looks like the Cub Club-ish logo. Like it's branding. It's some of the few rare branding we actually see in a Berenstain Bears book. It'd be like if the Burger King logo just suddenly showed up. It's really weird. So Mr. Brown's there, and he's like, I'm the manager, means I'm the boss. These are the tellers. Ms. Bruin is a teller. I don't know if she's related to Lizzie Bruin. They never acknowledge that. It's someone whose last name is Bruin. But they're like, what's a teller? And they're like, I tell you how much money is in your account. It's not a funny joke, but I bet she's made it a lot. There's also a drive up. So you see a bear pulling up in a nice convertible, talking to a bear at a window. And there's also the ATM where you can deposit and take out money quickly if you're in a hurry. I will tell you this, as someone who belongs to a credit union, not this credit union, driving up to the ATM, not always quicker, because sometimes there's people at the ATM in front of you who are doing actual banking at their ATM instead of what you're supposed to do at an ATM, which is take out $20. So it's cool. They're at the credit union. It looks a lot like my credit union, except everyone is wearing ties and blouses instead of wearing polo shirts with the credit union logo on them. The credit union. And he differentiates between tellers and the people who work like out on the floor. Like these are their financial helpers. These are the people who you meet with for a loan. These are the people you meet with for your financial questions. These are your financial advisors. One thing I like about a credit union is you can just kind of walk in and see if there's anyone there who can answer your questions, because they're not trying to make a buck off of you. So you don't have to like pay extra to talk to a financial advisor. I like it, and I've done it several times. He also shows them the vault. This is interesting. So I don't think our credit union has a huge walk-in vault, but this is where safe deposit boxes are kept. And Papa has a safe deposit box, or I guess the Bear family has a safe deposit box in this vault. And it's one of those safe deposit boxes where it requires the manager and Papa to pull out separate keys and turn them at the same time, which is like something you see in Ocean's 11, but it's not typically something I think of in my local like credit union. Is that how a credit union safe deposit box works? Like it seems pretty intense. And what is in Papa's safe deposit box? I'll give you one guess. Yes, it's honey. Jars of honey, special golden honey, which we've heard about in past episodes. That's something they really talk about in the animated series, which I love. Papa's special golden honey. And it's the most valuable honey in all bear country, and he keeps it sealed up in his safe deposit. I do not know if the honey in the safe deposit box ever comes back into play. Don't tell me if it does. I hope it does, because what an interesting setup for a story. Like, why has this never become someone robbing the Federal Credit Union safe deposit boxes? Also, if you rob a credit union, what are you even doing? There's also a coin changer, which is my favorite thing. So coin changers, if you're not familiar, you toss in as much loose change as you like. It tells you how much you have, and it gives you a deposit slip. So Teacher Bob does it. He throws in 3 coins, and he gets $2.67. I don't know how 3 coins adds up to $2.67. Must be some kind of bear money. I like to believe that Teacher Bob had 267 pennies loose in his pockets. Another thing they have is a display of different kinds of coins and money, a $50 bill, a $100 bill, which isn't something I have ever seen in a credit union. But I'm also going to guess that some of the stuff we're seeing here is stuff that's on special displays at participating credit unions. I think that there are somewhat elaborate Berenstain Bears credit union like interactive displays at some branches, and that's what we're kind of getting a little sneak peek at here with this book. And also the kids get their own Cub accounts. And here's definitely where it's tying in, because the kids get Cub accounts, which has a ledger for them to keep track of their money. It has, literature so they can, daydream about what they're going to spend their money on. Mama wants to daydream about spending money on paint for the front steps, and Papa wants to daydream about buying new tools, and sister wants to daydream about saving money for a pet shelter, and brother wants to daydream about saving money for his soccer team to buy new equipment, which I would think would be the responsibility of the sponsor of the soccer team. But hey, go wild, brother. If you want to spend money on that, it's your money. And then each kid gets a Franklin Mint branded piggy bank, which is, as I said it before, is actually a thing the kids get if they join the Cub Club. They get a piggy bank. I don't know if it's a huge ceramic piggy bank like the kids are getting handed, but they all take them home. They're all hauling these giant piggy banks home. It's empty for now, but they would soon fill them up and head back to the credit union to open Cub accounts where they could keep their savings safe and growing. And that's it. That's the end of the book. There's nothing in the back, as far as I could tell from any of the videos I watched. There's no activities. I think the funtivities, as they are called. Yes, these are actually called funtivities. Funtivities. I think they're all like you join, and then you get some funtivities. There's like there's like posters you can hang up. There's a poster that does not look like it was drawn by Mike. Apologies, Mike, if you did draw this. It looks like it was drawn by someone with a working knowledge of the Berenstain Bears, but it's cousin Freddie kicking a soccer ball through the goal, and brother like diving for the ball, kind of, but not catching it. I refuse to believe this is canonical, as I refuse to believe that cousin Fred could ever score a goal on anyone, actually. I don't think Fred's a member of the soccer team either, but it says, help your Cubs score big by opening a Cub account today. So that's something fun that the parents can get. You get a little guide that's based on the trouble with money. You get a bunch of parenting tips. You get a bunch of participating credit unions. There's a bunch of resources on their website. It's essentially ways to teach kids how to deal with money. Cubclubonline.com. There's funtivities for the kids. You can play a Berenstain Bears keyboard, I guess, is a thing. There's an app where you can. I'm playing with it right now. It's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, I see. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Oh, and then you can change it to like dog barks. You can't hear this, but I'm playing with the keyboard right now. It's very fun. So yeah, you can change the sounds like a chicken. You can play keyboard with a chicken, music box. It's actually a pleasant sound. A guitar, a cricket, a duck, a cow, and a piano. And a cat and a bird. So there's a bird, a chicken, a cat, a dog, a cricket, a duck, a cow, a piano, a music box, and a guitar. I don't know what this has to do with financial literacy. There's a game called Honey Bears Pick and Choose. What is this? Honey Bears. This is like being on like an old like Flash like online gaming site back in the day. Okay, so Honey Bears Pick and Choose it says there's 3 objects. There's a cabbage, a cheese, and a fish. And at the bottom it says choose the cabbage. Now, if your kid doesn't know what I guess you have to do this with your kid, because if your kid's at a level where they could confuse a fish with a cabbage, they can't read. So I'm going to just choose the cabbage. So read it out loud to them. I choose the cabbage. Hooray. Oh, and it has the generic hooray sound that you can find like for free on like any editing software. Which item is used in baseball? There's a football, a baseball mitt holding a baseball, and a soccer ball. A football, a baseball mitt holding a baseball, or a soccer ball. I'm going to guess baseball mitt holding a baseball. There's the cheering. Which item is red? There's a blue car, a yellow banana, and a red tricycle. Just for funsies, I'm going to choose the wrong one. I'm going to choose the banana. Oh, it's a pre-recorded voice that goes, uh-oh. It just goes, uh-oh. And there's no like ambient sound, so it cuts off like at an awkward time. Uh-oh. You choose the tricycle. Hooray! Which item can fly? There's a toy plane, a teddy bear, and a doll. None of them can fly, by the way. A toy plane can't fly. You have to pretend it does. And that's it. Congratulations, you won. There's no score or anything. It's something to do. There's a game called Cubs Card Cleanup. What is Cubs Card Cleanup? Ooh, this is more elaborate. Let's see. There's a score at the top. There's 4 cards. Oh, I see. It's a memory game. I just matched 2 aerobics bears and 2 stacks of blocks. I did it. I cleared the stage. And now there's 8 cards. There's crayons and blocks. There's a dinosaur and crayons. There's crayons and crayons. There's aerobics bear and blocks. There's blocks and blocks. There's aerobics bear and aerobics bear. There's dinosaur and dinosaur. I'm really good at this game. Continue. Okay, now there's 16 cards. Let's see. Fire truck. Oh, first go. Princess bear and aerobics bear. There's blocks and there's farm. There's princess bear and there's princess bear. There's duck and there's dinosaur. There's duck and there's duck. There's crayons and aerobics bear. There's aerobics bear and aerobics bear. There's blocks and farm. There's dinosaur and crayon. There's crayon and crayon. There's farm and blocks. There's farm and farm. There's blocks and blocks. There's dinosaur and dinosaur, and I won! All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 32 cards. Here we go. Truck and crayons. Plane and crayons. Paddle ball. And you know what? I'm not going to do this. Jeez Louise. And then there's a coloring book. It's an online coloring book. It looks like it's just you choose a picture of the Berenstain Bears. They are all winter and or Christmas themed, which is a choice, I guess. And you click a color and it fills. I don't understand. It's not working. I thought it was just going to fill in. It's not. How do you do it? It's not working. I don't know. The coloring page doesn't seem to work. Hey, Mike, the coloring page doesn't work. You're going to have a bunch of crying children trying to color on the coloring page. It doesn't work. Take a picture, though. I'm going to save a snapshot of my coloring page. I just saved a PNG of my coloring page. Oh, also, I bet a bunch of people won't know how to open PNGs on their computer because, in any case, but that's the fun and games. So you go to the website and you can play a bunch of funs and games. And there's also like some like how to read a check, how to save your money, how to earn money, how to determine what you want to save your money for. There's actually a lot of resources. This is actually kind of a cool website. Cub Club Online. So yeah, that's the Banana Bears financial literacy. That's the Berenstain Bears visit the credit union to learn about money management. Go to cubclubonline.com to learn more about it. So, and there's all these videos on various websites and on YouTube. Mike Berenstain is he's really proud of this thing, and it's still going. Also, I just see this. What's today's date? It's April the 12th. What is this month? It's beyond I think Jewish Visibility Month. It's also a financial literacy month. So I didn't even realize that this was I don't know what the term is, pertinent. So yeah, so become financially literate. Join a credit union. I'm saying this not as a shill, but just as someone who belongs to a credit union and has for over 20 some years. Join a credit union, take your money out of a bank, or maybe not all of it. You need a diversified portfolio. But put your money in a credit union. You should have money in a credit union because they're good people. Yes, credit unions, Cubs, get your piggy bank, I guess. Teach your kids about money. I hate that it's something that we have to teach our kids about, but it's a necessary evil, I guess. And I think that in 2022, last year, I believe they had a huge kind of revamp of this whole thing. So if you go to the Berenstain Bears Financial Literacy Program Facebook page, you're going to see a lot of stuff from 2022, which is kind of cool because it's just a way that they're participating. Mike, there's other orgs, by the way, that the Berenstain Bears have. I haven't done an episode on it yet, because I want to have Mike on to talk about it. But the Stan and Jan Berenstain Healthy Kids Foundation is a huge one. So we'll be talking about that when we get to the pertinent book that's related to it. And there is a book that's related to it. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. I wish I could tell you where to grab a copy of this, but they're expensive. Just join, figure it out. You'll figure it out. Go to the website, cubclubonline.com. Oh, I know why the coloring books doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything. It's because it's through berenstainkids.com. So it doesn't have anything to do with financial literacy. It's just something fun to do that have the Berenstain Bears on it. So don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. But hey, web person, I can't get the coloring book to work. Please fix that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to color this in myself on my computer using Photoshop. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that made you a little more financially literate. You can find me on Twitter at BStainBearcast. You can find me on Facebook at BerenstainBearcast. At Deep in Bear Country, Berenstain Bearcast. You can find me on YouTube at Phil Gonzalez. Give it a listen. Give the show a listen if you haven't already. And if you haven't, how are you listening to me say this? Save that money. Save that filthy lucre. And I'll see you all next time, deep in Bear Country.